For years, exploiters have played Roblox, from the start of everything with cheat engine to modern day exploiting using level 7 executors. They can abuse remote event vulnerabilities, fly, speed hack, and do all sorts of annoying things. But today, I present you guys a solution that will be able to stop most exploiters dead on their tracks, and they cannot bypass it. But first, we need to understand how exploiters use movement cheats in the first place. An exploiter will use a script executor to execute Lua scripts just like the ones you use for developing on Cog Studio. Then they will execute scripts that use the Roblox engine itself to be able to alter anything on their computer. Now, the reason why this is an issue is because even though anything altered on their machine shouldn't impact the server or other players, they are able to fly due to the way the default Roblox movement works. The way it works is like this. Your computer running Roblox will run all the physics for your character. Then every frame or tick it will send the current position of your character over to the server, and then this will get sent to every other client. This way there's no input delay when moving and everyone else can see you move. But remember what I said earlier? Since the server is directly listening to your physics simulation on your computer, this means an exploiter can run code to be able to fly and everyone else will see it. You might think that the answer is to code an anti-cheat that detects when scripts from exploiters are injected, but these are practically useless as no matter what you do, a talented exploiter will always find them and disable them as they run on your machine too. So here's the real solution. This solution was invented in the 90s for a game called Quake, which was a multiplayer FPS. It's called Server Authoritative Movement. The way it works is like this. Your client will keep a physics simulation of your character on your machine. Then it will run the inputs you press on it. But what makes it special is that it will also send those same inputs to the server. This way they are executed on a copy of your character, which runs on the server's physics. This way, it's practically impossible for exploiters to no-clip, fly, infinite jump, and all sorts of cheats. We can also apply this solution to stuff like cooldowns, fire rate, and other game mechanics. Now, luckily someone very smart already made the solution a thing for Roblox. It's called Chickenoid and I'm going to be using it for my game today. But first, let's talk about what my game will be. My game is meant to be inspired on Untitled melee game and Criminality. This way you combine the gameplay style of Criminality but with the melee combat and no cheaters. So first thing I did was learn how to use the basics of Chickenoid as there is absolutely zero documentation. After this, I made an inventory system based on the way Roblox tools work. As you can see, it perfectly imitates Roblox tools and works just fine. Next, I needed to create melees using object-oriented programming. I made a tool class called melee and gave it some properties and functions that can get called both on server side and client side. After making the functions for my game's mechanics, I worked on adding cooldowns via the default step function on Chickenoid mods, and I also implemented stamina. And now, holding block and performing actions takes up stamina from the player. Here are the functions in action. Block, shove, charge, light hit, and heavy hit. After this, I worked on the networking, so now clients can communicate with the server by sending their inputs every frame, so then the server can execute them and others can see your actions. Next is working on adding health, since Chickenoid doesn't really has a proper health system. So I modified the default health mod from Chickenoid and added more features such as infinite health, force fields, and max health properties. Next, I added some more functions to make it easier to take away HP from players, and then I set up some networking to be able to send the current HP to the client, so that way we can then update the health bar and we can see our current HP on our screen. Now that the health was done, I needed some basic blood effects, so I pulled out a physics engine I made a while ago and cleaned it up so it could be used for this project. After I finished programming it, I then made some splats with it for the blood effects, and now I made it so when you get damage it drops blood splatters in random directions. Pretty cool, isn't it? Unfortunately for you guys, this is where I'm going to be ending the devlog. If you want me to keep making devlog videos about my game, then make sure to tell me in the description. Also, do not make suggestions for the game, as most likely I won't add them since I already planned on how the game is going to work. But I mean, if you want to suggest them. Anyways, see you on the next week with another informational Roblox video.